I quit my 9-to-5 job and I can never go back. Not knowing what I know now, and the danger of you watching this video is you're gonna know what I know, and by the end of this video, you might be scratching your head. Well, I hope so, because that's the purpose, is to wake you up. You might be thinking, why have I been giving 40 hours every week for 12, 13, 15, 20, 25 pound an hour, even 30 pound an hour to someone else building their dreams when I've just watched a video which has painted the real picture between employment and entrepreneurship? So this is a dangerous video to watch, and employers will hate me creating this video, but I feel this is my mission, is the very few of you who could go on to build something great for yourself. These videos are for you, but there will always be people in the comments that hate and be like, oh, don't listen to this guy, not everyone can build a business, not everyone can be an entrepreneur. Well, you've not even tried. But I'm gonna paint the picture of the two different worlds and why I'll never go back. Let's kick it off, right? There are two sides to this coin. The grass is greener in entrepreneurship, I promise you. Let's start with time, the most precious asset. Well, when you're in a job, your time is allocated to you. You have to follow a schedule. Am I right? Yeah. Right, we've all been there. I had a shift, I'd have to turn up at a certain time, have my break at a certain time, finish at a certain time, and then repeat the process tomorrow. And typically it's from 8 to 10 to 12-hour shifts. And here's the bizarre thing about it, right? You go in to do, let's just say, a 10-hour shift. You're not working flat out for 10 hours. You might be doing 2-3 hours of work, flittering about, talking to managers in the office, you know, whatever, but you're wasting time. You don't need a 10-hour shift. On entrepreneurship, your schedule is your own. You manage your time as you wish, that is most effective to you. But what you realize when you work for yourself, and I want to say at the very beginning of this, I'm on about online businesses. So I'm talking about, I manage my time with an online business which has autonomy, is very passive, and I can build systems around it, right? So I'm working on my business, not in the business. But when you do work for yourself in an online capacity, I have so much time. So I'll work for 2 hours, which then would be the equivalent of someone going and spending 10 hours. I can literally work for 2-3 hours a day, and then I can shut the laptop and I'm done for the day because I've been so effective with my time management. Whereas you get in this really bad routine in the 9-to-5 where you kind of just, you know, you clock in, you fart ass about, and you're just wasting time. And that's one thing that you really realize is like, oh my God, my hours are my own. And also you value your time more. Like prime example today, this is like good example of like time management. Today I woke up at 6, I met a friend at the spa, because every Thursday or Friday we go for a spa day, decompress, relax, one of the benefits. Came home, did a few bits, went to the gym, came back, did my admin, couple of Zoom meetings, planned this YouTube video. Now I'm recording. After this, send it off on the Google Drive to my editor, and then I'm pretty much done for the day. I might do a TikTok live stream later on, and then I'm done. And then I can just enjoy the day. Sun's out, have a bit of lunch, spend some time with my son, great. And that's the real benefit, is time freedom, because it's not about how much money you make in a business. And this is what bugs me about employment. Everyone gets so obsessed with a salary. They're flexing. I had a guy in the comments the other day say, well, I'm on $136,000 a year. You're preaching to the wrong crowd. I don't care how much people earn in a salary job, because you don't have freedom. And we're going to get onto the other points where you can flex on a salary, but it means nothing. But ultimately, you still have to ask for a day off. If I want to go on holiday tomorrow, I'm not asking anyone. And that's the beauty about entrepreneurship. Now, holidays, let's get onto this. It's very backwards, isn't it? You work an average of 4 to 5 days to only have 2 or 3 off. You work an average of 320 to 330 days per year to only get up to 28 days off. Pushing it at 30. Where's the fair exchange of that? It just doesn't sit well with me. And actually having to ask for a holiday to another adult, I just find backwards. But again, society finds it normal. There will be people in the comments, as there have been before, that say, well, Aaron, that's just the way the hierarchy works. If you want holiday, you have to ask and put it in advance. But we don't have to accept that. You can, go against the grain. You don't have to go sheep mentality and conform with all of this. I don't find it normal as an adult. You have to ask another adult for holiday. That's not normal, but most of society thinks it's normal, just as retirement is normal. Most people in the working world think that it's normal to serve someone else, build someone else's dreams for 45 years, to then retire at nearly 70 to enjoy what they call the golden years, on hopefully a pension that will, allow you to live the life that perhaps you've been living. It's all backwards, and I'm trying to expose these lies that we've been told. So yeah, asking for holiday, I was never comfortable with it, and now on the side of entrepreneurship, I book a holiday like that. I still take my laptop with me, and my phone, because a lot of the stuff I do now can be operated on my phone and I can schedule and stuff like that. So flexibility. Again, my goal was to design my life, and I could never go back to being assigned and given my entire life. I could never do it. Now, locations. You are told where to work. Commuting. Look at London Bridge. If you ever spend time in London, look at London Bridge at 9 a.m. in the morning and then 5 p.m. These waves of zombie wage slaves crossing the bridge to and from. They have to go to the location. Most of them have been on the train for an hour, stressed out, stimulated with caffeine. It's just mad. Like, there's no sense of calm about any of it. It's in a rush. It's very stimulated. Like, I look at London Bridge when I go in the morning to go to the studio or whatever, and I see these people, red faces, blood pressures through the roof, they're stressed out, they've got sweaty armpits in their suits, and then on the way back at 5 p.m, they're sweating, they're rushing, they're competing with each other to get on the train, they're standing up, their briefcase, and they've got, the corporate job. They're living the dream, supposedly. They got the corporate job, they've got the mortgage, they've got the financed Porsche. Is that the dream? It's not. Life is about memories and freedom and flexibility and balance. And, balance is a tough one to justify, but as much as you can between the working world and your family life, right? But in the day and age that we're in now, with autonomy, with online businesses, you can achieve that, right? I'm living and breathing it, and you can too. Now, the workload, management of workload. In the 9 to 5, you can be dumped. I've done videos with this, but you can be dumped with loads of workload. Someone leaves, you get their workload, no extra pay. Step up roles, extra projects, just to keep your job. And I want you to imagine this just for a moment. I call it the pyramid effect, right? There's the upside down pyramid, and then there's the normal shape pyramid, which is employment. So the normal shape pyramid, right? So you've got this wide base. Okay, so this is the beginning of your career in the corporate world or employment, whatever you do, right? Different opportunities at the base. But the more you go up in these building blocks and it becomes more acute, survival of the fittest, backstabbing, gossip, office politics, whispering, the cliques. You have to compete because it's becoming more acute. And then when you get to the top, people are snapping at your heels for that higher corporate salary. Entrepreneurship, it starts very acute. You have to be very niche. You have to know the problem that you're solving. You have to really identify the market in which you're going to get into. So it does start acute. But as you go up these building blocks, it becomes wider and wider. Opportunity, opportunity, limitless, 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 never ending. More money, more freedom, more flexibility, more opportunities, more collaboration. It continues, it continues. And it just gets wider and wider, and the network builds. That should explain, really, the differences, right? Okay, the grass is greener. We aren't in the 90s anymore. Stop convincing yourself business is so risky. 90% of all businesses fail in the first 2 years. They don't. 18.4% of businesses that are online fail in the first 2 years. 18.4%. Get rid of this 90%. It doesn't exist anymore. We don't have to rent warehouses, offices. We don't have to buy 100 printers, 100 computers. We don't have to have 30 staff. We don't have to take out bank loans. You can build a business whilst working a full-time job. Put the time and effort in, because I'm going to ask you questions towards the end of this video which will get you thinking, why have you not started yet? I want to know why all of you haven't started building something for yourself yet. Lunch breaks. In the 9 to 5, if you're late off your lunch break eating your chili con carne like I was, you're going to get this. Aaron, where are you? And my answer on one of my breaks to my manager was, I'm eating my dinner. Well, you're 10 minutes over. Yeah, because I didn't count the commute from my office or, where I was stationed at the time to the canteen. They moved the canteen like on a 30,000 square foot site over the other side. I'm not taking in consideration my travel time for my break. My break starts when the old microwave's gone ka-ching, and then my chili con carne's at the table and I take my first mouthful. Then my half an hour starts. But if you don't conform, you're going to be the problem and they will ring you up. Aaron wasn't back on time again. You know, flag number 1, flag number 2, and then they'll manage you out the company. Lunch breaks. I mean, isn't it mad? You have to be given an allotted time for how quick you can eat your lunch. You're an adult. You know, does anyone else not find this mad? I find it bizarre how, you know, there's about 2.62 billion working adults and not more people are questioning it. Or maybe they are, but they don't want to actually say anything. I'm the guy that's happy to say something about it, which is why I do these videos. Same goes for toilet breaks. Now, I know there are some people that be like, well, you know, I never asked for a toilet break. But yeah, but if you disappear for 25 minutes, like I used to, you will get questioned where you are. Like, you might be constipated. Like, you know, serious, you might be constipated and you might be you might be in the toilet for a little bit. But if you literally are more than 10, 15 minutes because you're in pain, you will get a phone call as you're on the toilet, or in my case, on the radio, and I just, you know, I'm on the loop. It's mad. The people you have to work with. Oh, by the way, obviously in entrepreneurship and self-employment, you go to the toilet when you want. You have your break when you want. You have your lunch when you want. The people that you work with, this one's a biggie, because people that you surround yourself with have an impact on your mindset. In employment, you are told to work with people that you normally wouldn't choose to, people that you are not compatible with, which is why there's so many disagreements, the cliques, the politics, the bullying, the harassment, the micromanaging, because you are in a forced financial situational environment, which is highly competitive and very backstabby, and you're having to work with people normally you would not deal with outside of the workplace. So that causes a lot of friction, but you have to get on with these people. And the other thing you might battle with is favoritism. There's always a golden child. If you rub the golden child up the wrong way, the individual who is willing to brown nose to climb up that acute pyramid, you got no chance. I knew a guy who always used to brown nose, and we didn't get on, and guess who was the problem? Me. I wasn't the brown nose. I wasn't willing to bend over and be rogered by all the managers like he was. He was the chosen one. I couldn't stand it. I was the problem just because I had moral standards and values. In entrepreneurship, it's beautiful. I have a fantastic business partner. I have a great mentor. I have such a powerful and wealthy, ambitious, successful network. I have people that I can ring up and ask for advice, and it's collaboration, it's supportive, it's motivating, it's super inspiring. And when you have a network of super successful people, they just want you to do well. Simon Squibb's in my network. You know, he just cheers me on, and, you know, so much collaboration. And, you know, we've partnered with HelpBank, Amstrad, Trademark Wizards, you know, Applied Nutrition. You know, I'm partnered with just some fantastic companies. And little fact, on my last day of quitting my job, I said to the biggest boss, I can't stand the way that all of you here are so up your own. You know, you're all on these 40, 50, 60,000 pound salaries. You had no idea that I was building a business, and I've been working with some of the richest people in the UK, very wealthy people, and they're just so supportive. They welcome you, they sit down, they help, they mentor you, they give you free advice. Successful people also really want you to be successful. That's the thing, isn't it? In the corporate world, it's about backstabbing and treading over people and throwing them under the bus in order for you to keep your job, because you are in survival mode, because you have the mortgage, you have the finance car, you're living your life month by month to the salary that you've been given, so you're financially trapped. You've convinced yourself that a job is secure, but yet you could be managed out at any given moment. So you make up any excuse to believe that the 9 to 5 is oh so pure and the best thing in the world, when actually there's so many mental healths due to the 9 to 5 and the people and the, you know, the toxic individuals that you might work with. Yet in entrepreneurship, we're told that successful people and those who are really rich are selfish and steal from the poor. It's quite the opposite. The toxic, nasty employees and co-workers and management, they're really horrible. Successful people, certainly in my circle, super charitable, very giving, they have all the time in the world, and they root for other people who have ambition, who take risk, and they really want you to do well. I could never go back into an environment where people just want to tread over you, man, just to get a promotion of 5, 6 grand. You know, I just want to show you, we're in April right now. My editor will just pop it up on the screen. This is my earnings from one of my 16 streams of income. This is from online business. It's so possible to replace a salary, by the way. Like, I've done other videos on this, but that is literally from one of only 16 streams of income. And this is all through autonomy. No overheads, well, very, very minimal overheads. And then when you replace your salary, you don't have to put up with all the BS in the 9 to 5. Now, earnings, let's talk about money for a second. In the 9 to 5, you're given a cap. There is a ceiling to how much you can earn. Again, going up in that pyramid, whether you're the CFO, the CEO, the COO, director, whatever title that, floats your boat, whatever you love to scream from the rooftop and tell people at a barbecue. Regardless of your title, you can only earn a certain amount of money. And that, again, doesn't sit well with me. And knowing what I know now, and the more effort I put into myself, the more people I serve, the more autonomy, the more integration of systems and AI, the more money I can make at speed, and I can grow very fast. The beauty of online businesses is that you don't need really any team members. If you do, they're all freelance and remote, and you can scale fast and earn a hell of a lot of money. We are taxed heavily in the UK, but you have the option to leave. This is the great thing about a remote setup, is you can obviously move location, which I would advise you to do if you don't have ties or dependents or things holding you back. 2 things: change your network and change your location in order to scale faster. Again, you can't do that in a 9 to 5. You can earn as much money as you want because results generate revenue. In employment, brown nose, suck up, teacher's pet, backstab, throw people under the bus, highly competitive, 1 job role, 10 people going for 1 job role, competing for the 6, 12, 15 months that it might take to get a promotion. And then what's the promotion? 6 grand gross? Really? You're willing to become an alter ego, loss of character, for a promotion of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, even 15 grand? Say you're on 30 and the next promotion's 45 grand. What, you're willing to bend over backwards and backstab and become a different person, but yet you go home to your wife and your husband and pretend like you're normal, but in the workplace you're quite a nasty character, untrustworthy? Again, I have a broad view on all of this now because I've seen both sides of the coin. Freedom. I have this blessing now, and anyone else who has moved into the online world or building a side business, you can probably see it and you have a taste of it already, but I have this luxury now because I've moved into the online world. I can work from wherever, so every year we go to Disney, I take my laptop, do a little bit of work in the evening, schedule stuff. And to be honest with you, anytime I go on holiday, I'm jetting off in 6 weeks from now. The week before, I will do loads of scheduling on my laptop, content, email campaigns, clients, my members, everything that I need to do, I'll schedule for the week that I'm away. So when I go away, unless it's an emergency, it will all just happen on its own. I have sequencing, tagging, customer patterns that happen all on its own. I haven't got to be in the business. So I can enjoy a holiday. If I need to jump on the laptop because there's an emergency, great, I can do that. Open it up, 10 minutes, bish, bosh, bash, done. On the other side, most people in the 9 to 5 who book a holiday are booking the holiday to escape their reality, to then unfortunately have to come back to it because they keep feeding a life that they don't really want. So that's the backwards thing. How many times have you heard people in the 9 to 5 where they say to you, oh, can't wait to go on holiday, can't wait to get on this holiday. And then 2 days before they've got to come back, oh no, I've got to go back to my job. Why don't you just stop feeding a life that you don't want and make the changes? Decision making. I make all the decisions. I have full control and accountability and ownership of how much money, where I go, scalability, how fast I move, who I work with, where I work. All the decisions are left down to me. I love it. I can deal with that. No control, no decision making in the 9 to 5. You do as you are told. And if you're someone like me who had a backbone and would say, no, I don't agree with that. No, that is not fair. That is not fair. Someone has left and we're picking up the slack. That manager is micromanaging and being very toxic to people. That's not fair. You're the problem. They will eliminate you. Pips, manage you out, whatever. If they want to get rid of you, they can. Which leads me on to the last point, security. In the self-employed world, entrepreneurship and business, there is security because results generate revenue. So it's based on your results. Self-drive, discipline, sacrifices, consistency, self-belief, patience, sticking with the plan, serving people, evolving, adapting, pivoting, educating, new strings to your bow. Keep moving forward, but take the accountability. Build your network, ask questions, collaborate, market, sales, learn, evolve. And you can learn all of this for free. Put in the time and effort, work your job, work it around your family. Be very honest to your family and say, look, I want to change my life. I want to change ours. Gonna have to put in some more commitments for the next 3 years max. But it's so much better than continuing to work for the next 47 years of your life for someone else. where you end up being miserable and you have a midlife crisis and you're bitter and regretful and you blame your wife or husband for not living out all your dreams. On the other side, the lie of job security needs to come to an end. There is no job security. Redundancies, AI takeover. If you work in a call centre right now and you're not fearing for your job because of AI, I mean, what are you doing? If you're a taxi driver or an Uber driver and you don't think your job's going to be wiped out by driverless vehicles in the next 10 years, you're deluded. Go get another job or learn something new or start building your own business, because there won't be taxi drivers and Uber drivers. And some of you might laugh at that and think, who's this guy? He's delusional. Well, let's just let time show us, right? Because we'll see. And then I'll do another video, in a few years to come, and we'll see where we're at. So many jobs are going to be wiped out, especially in big corporations. So take control. Now, I want to ask you some questions, because I don't actually know why more people aren't exploring entrepreneurship, apart from just saying, well, not everyone can be an entrepreneur, and how would the economy work? Well, the economy and society as a whole was built on visionaries, by innovators, by entrepreneurs, by business owners. People will point the finger, but look at Jeff Bezos. People will say, oh, he doesn't pay enough tax. No, he pays more tax than anyone. And he also employs over 32,000 people. We are very quick to blame as a society while your life is failing and it's not as good as what you'd like it to be. So let me ask you some questions. And again, I just want to get you thinking and to get to the end of this video and be like, damn, I need to take some action. What excuse have you got to not build a business? You can't say you don't have time, because stop doom scrolling. Stop going out at the weekends. You have time. Look at your phone usage. I bet Instagram's got 9 hours racked up across the week. I bet Twitter, Facebook, TikTok has got an additional 10 hours. Well, there you go. There's nearly 20, 30 hours that you might have. The average individual doom scrolls for 3 hours minimum a day. That's 45 days and 12 hours per year that you're wasting, or 1,092 hours across the year. Put that into building a business. Most businesses now, it's around about 75% of online businesses now need no money to start. I've started 3 of them with 0 money. This company here, Peak Performance, got my lovely little laptop case there. We brand everything. That's a 6-figure business with not 1 penny in from me or my business partner. And we scaled from a team of 2 to 11 people, and we now have one of the fastest growing events companies with no money in. My finance company, no money in. My education company, tiny bit of money in, just for software and tech and stuff like that. Get started. There's no excuse, but you need time and energy put into it. Sleep less, don't go out at the weekends. Have a better routine. Education's for free, podcasts, YouTube, Audible, networking. Free mentors. Go on to my good friend Simon Squibb's Help Bank. Ask questions. Collaborate, DM people on Instagram. So what is the excuse? Well, Aaron, I've got kids. Yeah, I did. Well, Aaron, I'm the only income. Yeah, I was. Well, Aaron, I've got bills to pay. Yeah, same here, I did. But I did what was necessary because I wanted the bigger picture. I wanted now what I have at 32. I started when I was 20. It could take, you could do it quicker. I didn't have as many resources starting at 20, but now we have everything at our fingertips for free. You could get ChatGPT to write you an entire roadmap plan on how to get out your 9 to 5. Go into the description of this video and get all your free guides from me. Better still, at the end of this video, I'll have my free full course tutorial on quitting your job and building an online business. It's about 95 minutes long. That's helped about 16 people, as I'm aware, leave their job and run a full-time business now. Go watch that, it's for free. There is no excuses anymore. But knowing what I know now, no, I will never go back to a job. Knowing how simplistic it is to replace a salary between £2,000 to £3,000 a month, as long as you don't keep up with the Joneses and you live frugally, live on less, invest the rest, be humble in growth. You don't need to make £10,000 a month to live a nice free lifestyle for you and your family. And if you do need this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, £10,000 a month, what kind of life are you living anyway? What, is your partner high maintenance? Does she want the Gucci, the Louis, the Range Rover? Maybe get a different partner. Anyway, food for thought. I'm wishing you all the best. As always, my videos just need to be punchy, hard-hitting. I don't beat around the bush. I'm not here to fluff. Sometimes I've got to pour the vinegar on the open wound. Until next time, my good people, I'll see you all very soon.